Hi, my name is Vince Hanby with Guitar Player's Rule, and today we're kicking it on location at the beach, enjoying the rays and playing some blues. So this lesson today is going to be on blues improvisation. We're going to be working over a basic 12-bar blues progression. It's kind of a jazzy, bluesy solo. So sit down, tune up, and get ready to learn some tasty chops. That I play is over a G7 and a C7, and it opens up the solo starting off on the 7th fret, sliding down to the 9th fret. So what I do essentially there is I slide from the 7 to the 9, and then I hang on this 10th fret here. This is a great place to be whenever you're playing over a G7 chord. And that's going to be a full bend. It's a bend and release. One more time, bend and release. Then I do this nice little chromatic run, which starts on the 7th fret and goes down to the 10th fret. Finally ending up on the G note, which is on the 8th fret. Okay, the second part of that riff is walking down into your G position here where your G minor pentatonic lies. How I do that is I start on the 7th fret, and I'm going to go 7, 6, 5. I use kind of a alternate picking, and then I jump right down to the 3rd fret. Doing a double stop on the bottom 2 strings, and then I do this funky little thing that starts on the 5th fret right here that goes. So that's 5th fret, double stop on the 3rd fret, and then I kind of slide out of it from the 5th fret on down. So here's the full riff again. And here's a cool little jazz-inspired type of idea. It's going to work. It's going to work over quite a few frets, so you're going to have to get used to sliding and doing some hammer-ons here. I'm going to start off at the beginning on the 9th fret. It's a nice little hammer-on pull-off situation. So what we have there is hammer on here. We end up on that 8th fret. Then I'm going to slide from 6 to 5 to kind of give it that fluid feeling. And then a hammer on pull off from 3 to 5. Then slide into the 8th fret. Once again, that riff sounds like this, a little bit slower. Alright, and so the 4th riff, we repeat that same idea. We'll finish off differently though. So the riff starts off the same as riff 3, except for this time I come down to a double stop. Here comes the kind of jazzy cool part I like. You got to put some attitude into these notes. You're going to be on your G string on the 5th fret. You might want to do a little bit of a pinch harmonic. And you're going to just basically bend that 3rd fret and then stop at the top of the bend. All right, the end part of that riff, I add a little attitude by putting a pinch harmonic in there. And that is accomplished by striking the note and then letting the fleshy part of the thumb just barely hit that string at the same time. So you get kind of a pinched effect. Once again. It's kind of a Billy Gibbons type of thing that he does a lot, and it adds a lot of flavor to your playing. Alright, this next lick is part of the descending chord changes. You'll go from the 5 to the 4, so you're going to go from the D7 to the C7. And what I do is I just take that chord shape and I make it a part of my solo, which is a popular mechanism of jazz players. You'll see them do that a lot. And it makes for a real nice feel. On this particular beginning of this phrase, I'm raking down, and I'm ending up on the 5th fret down here. And I end back up on that D note, because we're in D7. Then when the chord change shifts to C7, I just shift the chord shape. So it's actually an identical riff, but just moved down from D to C. So I'm going to show you that one more time. And the only challenge with this riff is just keeping the other strings silent, because you're basically hitting all of the strings. So make sure that your hand position has you muting the strings as you're going down the rake. Alright, this is the final passage that we're going to work on in this segment. This basically puts you back into the G7, the final G7 before the turnaround. So you have basically a double stop here on the 5th and 6th fret that I go. I hit that baby 3 times. And then I just work my way down the blues scale. And then maybe shake it a little bit at the end, give it some nice vibrato. Another note for you to do, and something that is a great mechanism when you're playing to give it some attitude, is to kind of add a little bit of kind of chick it a little bit, give it a little bit of a flavor, kind of a percussive flavor, if you will. And then finally, to finish off this riff, I slide down into the 12th fret of the D string, so that's the D note. Once again, I'm using a chord shape, a triad. And that kind of finishes off the solo with the actual chord. I'm using the 1st, 3rd, and flattened 7th. So that is a 7th triad. And now we're going to slow it down into slow motion so you can really get a feel for what's happening with the ideas. So that wraps it up. That was the blues improvisation segment, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you will use it to inspire you and create ideas of your own. I would recommend actually coming back to this video once a week or maybe twice a week to practice along with the slow part of the video and gradually work up in speed till you have it down and have it nailed, and then branch off and start to do your own ideas. Once again, Guitar Player's Rule is developed to help players like yourself to really become better, separate yourself from the pack, and have fun. See you next time.